Poor old Jesse, he's just thinking, is Jace going to invite me back next trip? There's always that one mate that destroys everything and you're thinking, man, well, we shouldn't invite him on the next trip. All right, guys, so today what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through with you, okay, and people that have made some comments. So a lot of comments have come up for the Chevy rollover video. That's where we're on the Creb track and Jesse rolled the big bad Chevy, okay. Now, there's a lot of questions, people asking questions and I haven't been given too many answers. So what I'm doing today is I'm gonna actually watch the video, okay. Then I'm going to give Jesse a ring and bring him in because remember, he's the guy that was driving the Chevy. Poor bugger. Scared the absolute crap out of him and me, by the way. So Jesse was driving it. And so we're going to ask him and I will answer some of these questions that have been popping up on YouTube because people don't really get the whole context of things because we actually don't explain it in depth why we did things on the Creb track and why this incident happened. So stay tuned. We're going to hook right into it and give you guys some answers and hopefully you enjoy it. All right, let's get into it. So I'm going to start watching.
The traction we've been getting out of these trucks.
Here we go.
Yes.
I'm start watching here. This is when, yeah, there we go. We're coming down the hill. So we're coming to the last hill, the last main hill. And mate, I don't know whether you know it, but I know it really, really well. That last hill is the longest section of straight, muddy road or track down with the no woe buoys. There's a massive gap in between woe buoys. Woe buoys are those little things that you duck off to the left or the right to drain the water off, and that's the thing that Jesse hit. But there's a massive big gap between the top one and the bottom one. There's a reason why that happened. We're sitting at the top of the hill. It's the last bit. All right, Jesse's going to have a crack. He's going to have a go. Now, unbeknown to me, I'd been to this track before, but I didn't count the how many woe buoys were in between that last section. And of course we were there and when it was dry as. So he's creeping up to the edge now. There he is. And the first thing you'll notice is he goes past the first, yeah, so once he crawls over there, that's it. That was the last woe buoy. There it is there. He's gone and he literally has lost traction instantly. And he could have gassed, he could have, that's it, he's over. Like, you literally didn't have time to think. I didn't even have time to explain it. And then behind him, Simon slipped over. It's that slippery. And we're racing down the bottom of the hill. We're racing. Like, I'm trying to get there as fast as I can, surfing in the mud, yelling out. We're yelling and screaming. Like, absolutely yelling and screaming. Jesse, where are you? Because no one's answering. There's no answer. And it took until we got down to the bottom before he actually answered us. Yeah, there we go. He's going over the edge and you can see he's just got no grip whatsoever and he's gone. He's over. Mate, when I was up the top there and I saw that happening, I'm just like, oh no. And don't forget the cameramen are down there as well and they've actually signalled, they were actually signalling to us saying that he was okay. But he still didn't respond. And it takes him ages. And I was actually a little bit concerned about that bit, why he actually wasn't responding to us. Simon got there first. I'm coming in behind.
You all right? Yeah, I'm good.
So Simon got there first. He asked him, and you could pretty much see Jesse was okay. Just a little bit shaken. So I've asked him, Simon's asked him. He's, he said that he's okay. I'm struggling to try and get around that side of the car anyway because it's slippery as hell.
Yeah, I'm all good.
And the other thing too is that vehicle, I'd been using that vehicle for most of the season and all my gear's in that vehicle as well. So everything in the canopy and anything inside the cab is just upside down in a jumbled mess. And yeah, poor old Jesse, he's just, yeah, he was a passenger in that car, mate. There's no doubt about it. Here's the replay again.
I actually thought.
Oh, man. Like, I don't even know how you'd sort of, you know, how he could have. Because half the problem with driving, heading down those hills, you're thinking, oh yeah, just hit the gas pedal, mate. I don't know about you, but have you ever been in a low range situation on a steep hill in first gear low? It's against your nature to want to hit the gas pedal and go faster, because you don't even know whether you're going to be able to pull up at the other end, and you don't know what's around. You can't see, you know, that far ahead of you. So the thing that I noticed is the weight of that truck. Like, it's a ton more than the D-Max, for instance. So it's quite a heavy vehicle, and so to want to gas that thing down that steep hill, because it's steep. Like, don't believe it's not. The camera doesn't show how steep it is, because it is steep, and there's two cameramen positioned along that track, and Jesse's hurtling down this hill thinking, man, I need to hit the gas pedal. And it's like, it goes against everything you can think of, all against, you know, and you know, and he's like, if he hits that gas pedal harder, he's thinking, you know, I'm going to be out of control, I'm going to take out a cameraman, all these sorts of things you got to think of, and all this is happening in a split second.
Shit!
Okay, so realistically, the recovery, okay? Now, the second I knew Jesse was okay,
As soon as I broke traction,
all right,
I was in for it, right?
and
I was hoping I'd catch on one of these.
as soon as I knew Jesse was okay, then I'm thinking,
Went up on the bank.
right, how the hell are we going to get out of this mess, all right? We're in the middle of nowhere. There's God knows how many, you know, there's still, we're nowhere near any real centre, any town or anything like that, so we've still got a fair bit of track to do yet. We can't turn around and go back, and I wouldn't know the first person to call to get a big enough vehicle or machinery or whatever it is to come in there and recover that vehicle. So I'm thinking, mate, the only people who are going to recover that vehicle is going to be us. So I've gone into recovery mode, okay? So the first thing I'm thinking, I'm just thinking, boom, 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 we're going to need some winches, stuff like that. And while I'm sort of discussing it and having a chat there with Simon, and we're sort of, you know, thinking about it, because I've rolled a few things, righted a few things over the years. I did a bobcat once, and you know, on the side of a hill, and bits and pieces. So you sort of get to know what vehicles and bobcats, what they do, and the centre of gravity of things. And you've got to be really careful on slippery conditions and on, you know, when you're on the side of a hill. So, but while the whole time I was doing that, I actually wasn't thinking about the fact that there's a rear winch. The rear winch on the Chevy, because I'm thinking the Chevy, it's upside down, it's broken, it's busted. I'm thinking, I'm using the winch on the camera truck, the Camera D-Max, and I'm not even thinking about the rear winch on the Chevy. And then as I'm sort of nutting it out, and we start with the D-Max, as you can see, I've gone, man, we need to hold it from the back. How about the rear winch? So yeah, we brought the rear winch in, and it actually works. It works. There's no reason why it shouldn't. The battery's still in the vehicle. All the electrics are going, so it's working. So now we got to get on the upturned vehicle and start putting straps on and soft shackles. And Simon comes up with the idea of, you know, connect it to the rim, which is pretty clever actually, because that allowed it like to sort of get that purchase. And I was quite surprised at how easily the D-Max, after the second bite, so after he sort of jammed it into the bank the second time, how easily the D-Max winch rolled it over as well. So after we set up our ropes, there we go. Simon came up with the idea of going around the wheel, which is pretty cool. I thought the wheel would turn, but the wheel was locked up, so it didn't spin, which was good. And then as soon as you start winching, we got that leverage. The rear winch is engaging. Simon's on the rear winch. I'm on the front winch. And yeah, it's starting to roll over, and actually rolled over quite easily. There you go. Like, it's on its side now. And yeah, Like, it's starting to come over quite easily, but then it starts, there's too much load on the D-Max. So D-Max starts getting pulled towards it. So I reposition the D-Max there.
Progress is
not
halted.
quite.
The camera D-Max is
One
dragging
thing I did
forward
notice
under the
was how
heavy
tough
load.
that Norwell canopy
Dragging
was.
the
Like,
camera truck, is it? Yeah.
I reckon there would have been a truckload more damage to the cab of the Chevy
The Chevy is
if
just
that
too
Norwell
heavy.
canopy,
So we rammed the D-Max into
if that
the
Norwell
bank.
canopy wasn't there. That thing is tough, mate. Like, it took a lot of the rollover. It took a lot of the impact. And you can see how steep it is as we're coming down. Like, you slip over all the time and running down the hill, like, cause it's just so steep. The camera does not show that. So we reposition the D-Max. It's now repositioned. It's got some more leverage. This is the critical point. This is where you've got to use, and you'll see the top rope there. You have a look, you'll see the top rope of the rear winch, because it's wrapped around the spare tyre and then comes back towards the gum tree. You can see where it's, comes out around the spare tyre and then goes back to the gum tree. Now, because you started off upside down and then as it rolled over, the rope started to hook around, but that worked in our favour. As it's starting to roll over, the rear winch now has got to take the load, so to control the roll, because sometimes what happens is it just, as it comes over, it just gets momentum. So it either gets momentum and keeps going and it'll end up on the D-Max, or it gets up onto its wheels and just takes off down the track. So I've seen that before too. I was very concerned about that. I was concerned about it keep rolling and then just end off, collecting the D-Max that was winching it over. See, all these things are going through my head. Not just the fact that, here's a bloody expensive car destroyed that I'd spent a lot of time and effort. A lot of people, not just me, a lot of people had spent a lot of time and effort to make this vehicle what it was. And, that's the thing that sort of goes through my head. I'm just like, man, I put a lot of effort on. I felt like I was letting a lot of people down. That's what I felt like. I felt like I was letting people down by, I guess, and I'm going to take it on the chin. I'll take it on the chin. Jesse's there. I've asked Jesse to drive my Chevy so I could drive the 300. So you can't blame Jesse for it. And I'll take it on the chin. And I'm sitting there thinking, I've got to go back. I've got to go back to civilization, and I've got to explain myself to all these people that have put so much time and effort into this truck, and myself as well, and my team, to get this vehicle out into the field and filmed for this awesome season. And I don't think people realise that all that effort, well, not just me, everybody that goes into building these vehicles and then having them in these cool places up north and remote locations to find, to go four-wheel driving and fishing and boating. And, I've got a responsibility to all those people that have invested their time and their effort into it. I don't know whether that explains it real well, but it's not just about the vehicle. It's about me letting people down, and all those pressures and all those loads are on my head. Poor old Jesse, he's just thinking, is Jace going to invite me back next trip? Anyway, if you keep going, it starts to roll over. It's coming now, and like it's teetering on the edge. Teetering, there it goes. It starts to slide a little bit, and I'm thinking, it slid a bit, and then that was it. That truck couldn't have been rolled over and positioned on the bank there any better. It was perfect. It literally was perfect. It just worked. It just really worked. You can see we're a little bit happier now. I'm a little bit happier. Simon's cracking jokes. He always does. He always cracks a joke like that in the middle of a high stress situation. He's like, pulls that little joke. Jesse's having a look at it, looking at his handiwork.
Oh my God.
He's thinking, oh, there's going to be a bit to buff that out. Hey, did you notice the warning lights? What do you call them? The flashing lights, the hazard lights. They are going off. Well, apparently when the Chevys roll over, they come on automatically. I didn't know that. How cool's that? But yeah, they're going off. It's upright now. That's a start.
Yeah, mate.
Hey guys, I won't take up much of your time because I want to show you the fastest awning in the West. It's the Boss Quickie 2.5, mate, and it is fast. I reckon it's one of the fastest awnings. It's new to the market, great design, an absolute cracker of an awning. Easy to set up. The Boss Shadow 2.5 Quickie, mate, it's got all the features that our awnings have. Otherwise, mate, get back to your video and keep watching. All right, so let's answer some of these questions. Let's give Jesse a ring and see what he reckons as well, because he was there at the coalface, like literally, he's the guy tumbling around in the car. So he's going to have some pretty, I reckon he's going to have some good answers to these questions. So let's give old Jesse a ring.
This is your time to shine, Jesse.
Oh no. I didn't want to talk about this anymore.
You have to talk about it.
Hang on.
Jesse,
Hello.
how you going, mate?
Yeah, good buddy, how are
Yeah,
you?
going good. Yourself?
Not too bad, mate. Surviving the wet season.
Yeah, perfect. Well, it's absolutely pouring rain here, mate. Piss and rain.
Oh, no good, mate. No good.
Is it raining where you are?
Mate, we're just getting those afternoon thunderstorms rolling in, pretty standard at this time of year.
Fair enough. I think we've got more of a wet season down here than you.
Oh, you can have it, mate.
Oh no, you had that big cyclone wet season. How long were you trapped for?
I was stuck in here at the farm for 10 days.
10 days, bloody hell. All right,
Yeah,
mate, we're going to
wasn't
crack
too-
straight into it. We've got some questions to answer. People making all sorts of wild accusations about you, mate.
Ah, that doesn't surprise me.
And me too, I think, and of course the whole thing. So let's
Really?
start on them. I'm gonna roll with them, and you can give me some, you can fill me in with some stuff while we'll have a yarn about them, eh? So
No worries,
the first
mate.
topic, these are a series of questions about the conditions.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Okay, so here's the big question that everyone's been asking. This is a big question why on earth did you do it in the wet?
Yeah, so, I mean, that has been circling around a little bit, that question, hasn't it?
Yes. So
Well,
do you want
I
me
mean-
to start? I'll start.
Yeah, go for it, mate.
So when we filmed this episode, right? When we filmed this, mate, it was the dry season. It was
That's
the
right,
middle of
yeah.
the dry season we filmed it, but they'd been having these abnormal bits of wet coming in, like rain and stuff. Remember that?
Yeah, that's right. It was a wet, dry season up here, and
Yeah.
you know, I follow the crib track pretty closely
Yeah.
up here, just because it's a local track up here, and you know, it was open and people were doing it, but we're just getting this unseasonal rain in the dry season.
Little showers
That's what it
coming
was.
through.
Just showers, and that red clay doesn't take much to get slippery.
No, and that was the thing. So you heard that. Jesse said that the track was open. It was 100% open, all right? So it's not as though we went through a track that wasn't supposed to be open. We also checked, we did a weather report check, remember? We checked the weather
Yeah.
and it said 0 to 1 mil.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, 1 mil can be a lot in rainforest.
Well, it said 0 to 1. So we said, you know, we're here now. We're you know, everyone's here, ready to do it, and we made the decision. Let's do it. All right. We had no trailers with us. We didn't take the trailers with us because that would have been a nightmare. And away we go. So, look, that's why we did the track. All right. It was open. no problem. Away we went. The forecast was good. All right, so next question, mate. Why didn't you turn around?
Mate, we don't go backwards.
There you go. No, the reason why we didn't turn around is because, you know, it didn't actually start raining, so the track wasn't wet and dangerous till we were at least, halfway through? Easy halfway
Yeah,
through.
that's right. And honestly, I think turning around probably would have been more dangerous because we came up that big red hill where we seen the car that went off the track. And I don't know if I could get paid enough to go down that hill in the wet.
Yeah, you're dead right, mate. I wasn't going back down that hill either.
Forward was our only option. It really was.
100%. 100%. All right, mate, next question here. Why didn't you wait it out?
Yeah, well,
The old,
yeah, that's it.
let's just wait till the rain stops.
Yeah, look, I guess, like, for me, like, I think about some of these things that we could have done better too, you know, like when you make a mistake and have an accident, you do sometimes think of ways which you could have done it better, coulda, shoulda sort of thing. But look, it was the last hill of the Creb track. We thought we were home and hose. And,
100%.
I suppose probably a bit of complacency kicked in on my behalf, like being the lead vehicle. I probably could have got out and, you know, done a recce and walked it, but it was the end of the track. I thought we were done. And,
I thought the hard stuff was over as well. Like I said, I've run that track as well. And Simon, he'd run that thing on dirt bikes that many times it's not funny. Yet a couple of times when you asked Simon, he was a little bit like, I'm not really sure where there's another hill, or you know what I mean? You sort of, you know, when you don't do tracks for a while, you sort of go, is there one more bit? You know what I mean? And when you do it in the dry as well, you don't realise that last hill is where there's the least amount of woe boys. It's the straightest, steepest, longest stretch.
Yeah.
And that is where the Unimog, there was a Unimog that went to recover another vehicle or something. That's where it come unstuck as well.
Yeah.
I think that was like the season before.
Yeah, so the Camera Boys, they were the true lead vehicle on that expedition.
In that section.
And they made it down there, and this is where I felt like, I say the word complacency, I probably should have checked up myself and had a look, but the Camera Boys went down the hill, and old Barra Dave, he sort of said it was pretty sketchy, but we should be right. But they were in a D-Max, a lot lighter vehicle.
Much lighter.
And the other thing about clay, because I got the same red clay on the farm here, when you break that traction, like the second vehicle going through, it's an ice rink.
Yeah, so the first vehicle has already gone through. He's got the most traction. Yeah. And then the second vehicle, it's like an ice ring, 100%. Yeah, look, and let's face it, those D-Maxes on that track, they just ate it up because of the fact that they were so light.
Yeah, I was watching Simon coming down in his D-Max, and you know, I was really enjoying driving the Chevy, but going down those downhill sections, I wanted to be in the D-Max.
I think everyone wanted to be in the D-Max.
It was a capable car.
Yes. All right, so the next topic is the rig setup, right? So this is the rig setup. So, all right, here we go. For those who didn't watch the series rig build, exactly how much heavier is the Chevy compared to the other trucks? All right, so we just explained to the people at home watching, the Chevy is easily a ton heavier than the D-Max.
Yeah, right.
So if that puts it into perspective, it's a ton heavier. That's 1,000 kilograms.
Yeah,
And I know that Simon's truck literally had his coffee, his honey, his red wine, and a heap of food, and his gear bag. That's about it.
Yeah. No, there is a noticeable difference of weight between trucks, that is for sure.
Yeah, 100%. There's another question here, mate. What about snow chains? It says here, someone keeps asking, why didn't you have some snow chains?
Mate, we live in the tropics up here, eh?
Mate, do you know that it's always, hindsight is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Now, when we went to Tasmania, did you know we hauled around snow chains the whole trip for every single vehicle?
Is that right?
Yeah, we hauled snow chains around for every single vehicle. Mate, I didn't use them. Didn't use them once. Now, when we're on our way over to coming across from filming the season, because we're on this big trip filming the whole season, right? You know that, you're there. We're coming across, we're not thinking, hey Jesse, how about we go and get some snow chains? Do you know where to get snow chains in Cairns?
Mate, I've never even seen snow chains in my life. And maybe some of the locals up near the crab shack, they might have jimmy rigged some type of homemade
Yeah,
things,
they
but
order them online, mate.
yeah, I've never seen them. But yeah, look, if we had them, sure.
Oh, 100%,
But we
I'd be
didn't.
chucking them straight on. All right, so someone's asking here, Jesse, why don't you have a set of custom grooved mud tyres, okay, for your trip on the Creb track? Why, Jesse? Why don't you have some custom-made mud tyres with, all grooves in them like you're racing some mud track? Why don't you have that, Jesse?
Well, I don't know. Why didn't you have it, Jess?
Exactly.
But
Mate, I generally
look,
don't
I
pull
think-
out a set of grooved mud tyres that I've got specially made up for when I hit the Creb track and I get a touch of rain, you know what I mean? The weather forecast was wrong. I don't have them sitting in the back of my canopy. Do you?
No, I think any plain adventurer that travels Northern Australia has got a pretty generic set of tyres that is utilised for a diverse range of terrain.
Yeah.
And the tyres that we had were more than capable. We punished those tyres.
mate.
We took it all through the Kimberley and they were great. But mate, you can put any custom tyres on mud, clay, and they slick up.
Yeah, 100%. They slick up.
Yeah.
Definitely the snow chains are the way to go. I know PJ, PJ that lives up on the hill there at the Creb track.
Yep.
Yeah, mate, he swears by mud chains, and I understand that. I get that. But we didn't have mud chains, mate. We didn't have them with us. Simple as that. All right, so here we go. Here's some more questions, mate. The descent.
Trying to block this part out, mate.
I know you're going to have to revisit it, mate. I'm sorry, but you're going to have to. I know you were trying to block it out of your brain. Okay. Why was Jesse in the big rig? I thought that was Jace's baby.
Yeah, well, I mean, it certainly is your baby. You love that truck, mate. I've seen you express that over the whole trip. But, we did a vehicle swap halfway through filming, and I think we made a call to put the Chevy up front simply because it had a rear winch.
100%.
Yeah, it was quite heavy. We could tow vehicles up,
Yeah.
and we did. We used it for that, and it worked pretty well.
That's exactly why you were in front, mate, because we used the Chevy. It had the rear winch, and by you having the rear winch, you could get up first with all the power and then winch the rest of us up. Mate, I wanted to drive the 300 as well.
That's right. Yeah, and I want to drive all those trucks. I don't get to drive those things in my everyday life. I wanted to give it a crack.
So there you go. That's why Jesse was driving. All right. Hindsight is a funny thing, but they should have winched it down.
Yeah, look, shoulda, coulda, but didn't sort of thing,
Yeah. And that's exactly
We could have
it.
done a lot of things.
Hindsight.
Yeah.
Just like winning the gold lotto, mate. You should have picked the right numbers, Jesse.
Look, looking at it and thinking back on it, look, there was probably a handful of things that we could have done. But, look, we made a call. We stuck to the call. Sure, we paid the price of it, but, it wasn't intentional. And we just dealt with the situation at hand.
That's it. And it's bloody raining even heavier now. Yeah. So, look, at the end of the day, we'd travelled 99.9% of the Creb track. And we'd done it. We had good traction. We were going down the hills. Yes, they were sketchy, but we made it. This was like the last little bit. So yeah, we're just like, we're there.
And like, I have to admit, like, what a lot of people probably don't realise, we're away filming for a long time. Like, we're probably 6-7 weeks into the trip by then. And we probably don't check every single corner that we go around on foot before we tackle them, you know? So, like, it was the last hill of the whole season.
Yeah.
And
Mate, and we'd already been down really even steeper hills the day before.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, we really tackled some pretty gnarly terrain in there.
Yeah, so we were sort of getting a bit confident. I don't know whether you call it confidence or cocky. We're doing something. All right, so someone's asking, how did you get the camera truck down?
Yeah, well, I was actually quite curious about that myself because none of us seen the camera truck go down.
No, I didn't
We
see
just
it
got the
either.
radio call. Old Barrow Dave gave us a radio call and said,
Come on down.
oh, it's a bit sketchy, but it should be right. Set up shop and away you go.
Come on down, he said. Maybe he
But
lured
I
us. He lured us.
I reckon the camera truck went for a ride for their life down that hill and they just kept it
I
quiet.
talked to Chris later. Chris was the passenger. He's the other camera guy. I talked to him and he said, he was absolutely shitting his pants on that ride.
I believe it.
Hey, g'day guys, sorry to interrupt your video, but I just wanted to show you the new 270 standard from Campboss 4x4. Check this thing out, mate. It's an awesome bit of kit if you want to get out from under the sun, okay, out in the Australian outback, then you need one of these things. It's got full A-frame arms, easy to set up. It's got 280 GSM ripstop poly cotton. The bag itself is a heavy duty 1000 GSM with a heavy duty zip, and it's got this awesome little ratchet to tension it up, mate. It's the best awning that you're gonna see on the market. Full A-frame arms, self-supporting. Anyway guys, back to the video. All right, here's another question. Jesse wasn't on the brakes, but the wheels locked up.
Yeah, look, it's a bit hard to, slow it down just before you're about to roll a vehicle and pinpoint exactly what you were doing with your controls. Like, I have to admit, like, when you're about to flip over, very hard to recollect if you were touching brakes, throttle, or what you were doing, you know?
Well, did you know that those Chevys, they've got a rev limiter in them?
Yeah.
So once you hit the rev limiter, it causes the wheels to lock up anyway.
Yeah, it's a very smart car, and look, it actually took me a while to just figure out how to learn to drive it, because it is very smart, and it had a lot of gear going on. But I was fully aware from, some great coaching by you and Simon, don't jump on the brakes, and I rode the whole Krebs track out with you guys coaching me through that, and look, if the computer kicked in with engine braking or the rev limiter, or if I did hit the brakes at that last split second, mate, I can't tell you. I was in the middle of rolling a car.
You were on a roller coaster, mate.
I tell you what though, like, until I hit that woo boy where I rolled it, in my head, I thought I had it still.
Oh, you nearly did have it, actually. You nearly had that.
Because
even Simon thought you had it.
Yeah.
Simon thought
I
you
was
had
committed until I was committed to the point where I was on my back.
Hey, have a listen to this next question, right?
Right.
Someone comes in, someone puts this question in. Should have put it in reverse.
Yeah, right.
Is that
Don't
while
even
you're
know what to
moving
say to
down?
that.
Is that while you're moving down? You should have shoved it in reverse.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have mattered.
There's a lot of should-haves on these questions,
Yeah.
eh?
It wouldn't have made any difference, even if you could get it into reverse, mate. It wouldn't have even allowed you to put it in reverse.
I wouldn't imagine so. Like if you just slam it straight back in reverse
Yeah.
there. I'm not too sure, but yes, putting it in reverse was not on my brain. It was, my brain was, don't ride the brakes, try not to go sideways,
Yeah.
and hold on to the big
And
thing.
hold on to it and get to the bottom.
Yeah.
All right. So apparently, so Simon is renowned for rolling things, right? So from what I can say from this latest scenario with the Chev, I think Simon has been dethroned by you, mate, by Jesse. Dethroned. You are now Sir Roll a Lot.
All right. Well, that whole season, mate, I really wanted to dethrone you. Oh, no, mostly Simon, in fact, of catching Amita Barra. That was my mission of the trip, but
Yeah, that didn't happen.
that Sir Roll-A-Lot is not the title that I was going for. But I'll take it. Sure, I'll take it.
All right, it's yours. All right, mate. So what do we got here? Some people online are saying that you cared. Oh, here we go. This is a little bit controversial. All right. Okay. Some people online are saying that you cared more about your truck than Jesse. What do you say to that? Oh,
Okay.
so I got to answer that one. That's me. So I cared more about
What's
my
that truck
truck
worth
than you.
again?
Mate, look, I don't know about you, but if you piece the whole thing together, did you, when we were coming down the hill, when you're rolled over and you're trying to get out of the car, did you hear me and Simon yelling out like 3 times, Jesse, are you there? Jesse, you all right?
Yeah.
Did you hear
Yeah, I
that?
think I definitely heard it. You guys were straight onto it. You know, the whole crew was, camera boys, everyone. You know, it was a team operation. And, you know, we are a tight-knit team when we're out in the field. Like, if it's crossing water where there's crocs, like, we got each other's backs no matter what it is. So sometimes I think, like, you know, it's TV as well. They don't film everything. Things get cut down and this and that. Like, it's, but yeah, I have no doubt in my mind that, you know, you guys had my back, and it would be the other, vice versa, if something happened to yourself or Simon, you know. That's what it is.
I actually think back to it, and I actually think that I yelled out, I think it was 3 times, and you didn't answer any one of those times. And I actually was like, why isn't, in my head, as I'm running down the hill behind Simon, I'm thinking, why isn't Jesse answering?
Yeah, I remember that pretty clearly, actually. And, like, I've had a few moments in my life, like, you know, close calls with crocs and crashing motorbikes and, you know, things like high adrenaline, high stake, life and death sort of situations. And my sort of thing that I do when I'm in that is I just breathe. And I remember getting out of that car and I just took some breaths. I heard you guys calling out, but I actually just needed to get the oxygen back into my brain and, you know, calm that adrenaline down. Adrenaline pumping it was. Like, you know,
I bet it was.
tailed King Browns, caught big crocs, and my adrenaline was pumping rolling that Chevy. I was jacked up. I honestly needed a minute to just breathe. You know, that's what I was doing.
Yeah, I actually was concerned that you weren't answering back, and the fact that once Simon had seen you, or once Simon had got around the front, you'll see him get round really quickly. I'm still trying to slide down the hill, and Simon's, you know, got to you first, and he's gone, you all right, mate? And yeah, as soon as I heard that, then I felt the relief as well. And then I even asked, you know, you all right, mate? And
I don't know, you did.
but yeah,
Just like I said, they don't put everything
no.
that happened on TV, you know, like, it was a team operation. We all had each other's backs, and plus I might, you know, come to think of it, I might have hid in that car a little bit just to hide from you after totaling your truck. No, it wasn't like that at all. It was very, very much look out for your mate scenario.
Yeah, gotcha. Hey, someone else says here, you should make a shirt, mate, that says, that'll buff out.
Well,
Upside
I'm
down
pretty sure
Chevy
every
and
one of
that'll
my
buff
mates
out.
up here in Queensland will buy it.
Okay, someone else asks, was it a write-off? Okay, well, yes. So obviously we're filming this a hell of a long time past. It's next year, mate, since it happened. So yeah, it was definitely 100% write-off. It was a mess. Once the airbags had gone off, you know, even just the airbags going off, the pillars were all damaged. As much as it actually was it didn't look too bad. Some of the structural points had kinks in them, and you know where the main structural points of the pillars. But yeah, it was definitely a write-off, and people did see it at the auctions. Did you make a bid for it, mate?
No, I didn't. Although it would be a good paddock basher for around here.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, paddock basher. Well, apparently it went to auction, and someone bought it for 25 grand. So, in the comments, guys, whack some comments in. Do you reckon how much you reckon the Chevy would have been worth paying for? And remember, that canopy was in one piece. Like, I mean, that canopy was, once we rolled it back over, it was perfect. So how much would you pay, okay, for that Chevy? You can imagine the answers coming out there. I wouldn't give you $2 for that thing. And just remember to buff out.
It would be an expensive paddock basher.
Mate, in the time that you've been on this earth, all right, how scary was that situation?
Yeah, it's certainly up there for sure. It's like, I won't forget it, let's put it that way.
Yeah, you're definitely you're not gonna forget it, mate. We're not gonna let you forget it.
No, look, like I said to you already, like I was committed to doing that descent, and in my head, like I was committed. I thought I was going to make it, you know, like, and then when it rolled, it happened pretty quickly.
We all think we're going to make it, mate, until we don't.
Yeah. I mean,
fake it to you, mate.
Yeah, it happened quick, so it was more so just, I mean, I felt adrenaline experiences and I felt fear before and all that type of stuff, and like, it's in the bag, you know, it's up there for one of my experiences, but yeah, like, it's just about controlling all that, I suppose. Don't dwell on it. I have had moments where I've been almost in the jaws of, you know, 4 or 5 metre crocodiles and things like that, but you know, you don't overthink that stuff. Like, I walked away unscratched.
Yes.
You know, like
you did.
That was lucky, sure, but I don't stay awake at night thinking about it too much. You know, I just crack on.
That's good, mate. Crack on. I would think that big fat ginormous King Brown that you caught up in Arnhem Land there, mate. I think that was. Yeah, that to me, that was bloody scary. Absolutely scary.
Just different scenarios to me. Like, I mean, one, I've been handling animals all my life, so, you know, it's a controlled fear, more of an excitement for me with the King Brown, you know? But rolling the Chevy, like, there was a cameraman downhill of me, you know, as I was rolling. That was in my mind.
Yes.
I could have killed someone else.
Yeah, well, that was the other thing, eh?
And, you know, that was scary to me. And getting out of the car and seeing how close the cameraman was to being, you know, almost squished, like, that's scary. Yeah. And yes, writing your mate's, you know, very expensive car off, that is very scary.
Once the you know, all the adrenaline had sort of calmed down a little bit and we're sort of getting things, you know, we got the vehicle back on its wheels. What did I keep saying to you every time you're sort of worrying about it? What did I say? At the pub, you know, the pub that night.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I got out of the vehicle, I mean, you were very supportive of the scenario and you just kept saying to me, it's all good, mate, you know, like, you were supportive. I remember sitting down having a beer with you in Cape Tribulation that night after, and, mate, you were very good, actually. You handled it better than I would have.
Thanks, mate. Thanks.
But no, you were good. Very supportive.
Oh, look, at the end of the day, I'm the guy that's organising everything. I'm the one that says, "Hey, Jesse, drive me truck." So, mate, I'd take it on the chin. I'll take it on the chin any day of the week, as long as you're all right, mate. Because that's yeah. I don't even want to think about that. You're all right. We'll take that one on the chin, mate. No worries.
We live to fight another day, mate.
That's it. That's exactly it. All right, mate. We got a couple more questions left here. The durability. This is questions about the durability. Okay. Here's a funny one. You'll like this one. Okay. I think they're asking me, have you sent Jesse the bill for the aerial yet? Yes.
Well, thank God, no.
He hasn't paid it yet.
I'll work it off.
All right, and here's another one. Why are you surprised that it turned on and ran? So someone's asking, why are we surprised that it started up?
Well, I'll speak for myself. When we flipped it over and pressed that button, I was surprised.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
had very little doubt that thing was going to run. Like I thought I just totaled that past the point that, of bringing it back, and that blew me away actually, pressing that button.
I think I was
hearing it crank
surprised
over.
as well, because all that bonnet and front end, all that front end there was all crushed in. I was thinking, man, there's probably the radiator's all busted, the fan's all jammed into the radiator, the hoses are torn off. That's what I was thinking.
But even the computers in the car, like I said, it's a smart car. Like the seatbelt's locked on, the airbags went off. Like I thought for sure the computers would have said.
Well, did
no.
you hear Simon? Did you hear Simon say, and it wasn't captured on camera? Did you hear him say, "Oh, these new fandangled, these new modern cars, once they roll over, the computer doesn't allow it to start up again."
Yeah, right. Well, we debugged that, didn't we?
Myth busted. Here's another one. There's only a couple more questions left. Why are you surprised that it turned? Oh no, we got that one. What I find amazing is the roof of the cab didn't cave in.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, to be honest, that canopy, that Norwell canopy probably acted as quite a good roll bar, right?
Yeah, that did a lot towards the back of the cab there. But did you know that those trucks, those Chevys, and don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that they've got a lot of aluminium in them. Like the panels are made out of aluminium and stuff like that. But I think the subframe might be still steel. I can't be certain, but it is a testament to that truck, mate. I don't know about you, but if that was the vehicle you had to roll, it had so much safety gear in it, it wasn't funny.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty nasty roll, and not even a scratch on me. Airbags popped off and just did its thing.
Yeah, mate. And there was some gear in that truck too. Did you feel like lots of gear floating around, sort of going everywhere?
Yeah, I felt a few things come rolling around.
Because those airbags, did you feel that airbag? Like, did the airbag smack you in the head?
Yeah, it did.
Like,
unfortunately, I was real bummed that the in-car camera failed.
Yeah, I know.
Because that would have been some epic footage. Because I was stuck upside down, the seatbelt locked onto me.
Yes.
And I was upside down. I had to get the seatbelt off me and fall onto my head onto the roof, and it was crazy in there, right?
Yes.
Being in that cab, even trying to navigate how to get out.
Yeah.
And my brain was thinking, oh, this is a big V8 petrol. There's batteries all through it. I'm going, I need to get out right now.
Yeah, battery, fuel, flammable, yeah. Highly
And my brain was going, I'm going to have to kick a window in because I couldn't see an exit because the airbags were covering the windows.
Yeah, gotcha.
So I was a bit disorientated to know which was my best exit.
Yeah.
But luckily enough for me, while I was in there for a millisecond or however long it took, old cameraman Dave just opened the door and out I climbed.
Good old Barra Dave, cameraman Dave,
Yeah,
Barra Dave, saved the day,
Yeah,
opened
'cause
the door for you.
I thought I was going to have to start kicking in windows. I was barefoot.
No, well Look, the fact that the airbags went off, and obviously because it did roll, so you could have maybe you didn't want to hit your head and stuff like that. You were wearing your seatbelt, so remember that one, kiddies. Remember that one, kiddies. Always wear your seatbelt. I'm glad you were wearing your seatbelt, mate, because
Might save the day for sure.
yeah, 100%. So yeah, you're in the safest vehicle. So I'm glad nothing happened to you, mate. And vehicles can be replaced, but you can't, mate. So you're still here and you're undamaged.
Yeah, sounds good, mate.
All right, mate. I'm going to leave you with it. We've run out of questions.
Rightio.
I'm hoping that has answered a lot of people's questions, because there was it's a bit hard sometimes when you do, and I can understand that when you do watch a video and you don't know the whole context of it, and you may not have watched all the videos previous to that, so you're just coming into it like we're halfway along the Krebs track, and why you're driving it when it's raining, all those sort of things don't explain it. So I hope that helps, and mate, I'll tell you what, I'll let you in on a little secret.
Oh, no.
Yeah, mate. You're on the next season. Yeah, you're on the next season. Simon and I have talked about it, and we thought, look, we're thinking we'll give Jesse another crack.
Oh, that's good. That's good news. Maybe I can still dethrone him from catching a metre Barry yet.
Yeah. I don't think Simon knows that bit.
Do we have to go back to rainforest?
No, I don't think so. All right, mate. I'm going to catch you later. See you, eh?
Excellent, mate. Good to speak to you.
Have a good one.
Rightio.
All right, so there you go, guys. That hope that did help. Now, if you want to know what sort of damage the Chevy sustained, because people were actually asking questions about it, like the full damage report, well, mate, watch the video from last week, because I go right through the Chevy and I do a full damage report, and I think I end up doing some rooster tails and some donuts down the backyard, and show you that it's actually in pretty good nick considering. All right. The other thing is too, don't forget that if you watched the rollover part of the Krebs track, it's actually the part 2 of the first video, and so you can actually go back to part 1 and watch the whole story of what we did when we started the Krebs track, and then of course when we had the rollover and then the recovery. So if you get a chance, check that out. That's all on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, mate, send in your comments. Ask questions. You want to know things? Don't be afraid to ask. We'll get around to answering them one day maybe. Anyway, guys, we're going to catch you on the flip side. Jesse's definitely catch you on the flip side, and make sure you keep the shiny side up. Pardon the pun. All right, guys, I'll catch you later.
Introducing the new and improved home of Australian adventure, Unleashed TV. A growing library of content featuring the best of all-wheel driving, fishing, touring, rebuilds, bush cooking, and whatever you call this. Stream entire seasons of the hit TV show All for Adventure, Unleashed, and more original series from Jason the team. Plus, get fresh new content exclusive to Unleashed TV subscribers. You can stream it all for just $9.99 per month, now with no lock-in contract. That's why Unleashed TV is the home of Australian adventure.